Okay. Okay. For archive purposes, Boroda sit my did very good Ruan Criso in Rowan, and welcome to my spooky house. And oh, okay, I remember what happened that day. Uh, so this is now the day of the week that I get to refill my medication organizers, which I tend to call my pill pods, and I am being accosted by a very annoying but very, very cute little cat right now. So, yeah, I've also got a video appointment with my therapist. I can't remember if it's at 6:30 or 7:30. So, but yeah, I also have to get half and half for my coffee today, and I might also pick up um, 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 some fancy pants yogurt while I'm there, because, and that can go there, and I don't know, I would have a vague update about what kind of week I've had, but I'm sure you can imagine exactly the kind of week I had, except, on Saturday, I called my aunt, which I hadn't done in a while, and she's doing fairly well, actually. Now, my sister's mother, so technically my half sister on my dad's side, obviously, or we would have had the same mother. Um, but yeah, her mother, who is somehow still alive, in spite of being about 8 years older than our father was. So, yeah, sister's mother is feeling very, um, um, what's the word? What's the word? Like, invincible right now. Why? Because, oh, dear. So, sister's mother, um, like my, like sister, and like my aunt who I called on Saturday, sister's mother was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, but way back in the 60s when it was still known as manic depression. Uh, Actually, like, I think aunt may actually have an undiagnosed case of ADHD, like myself. Well, okay, I was eventually diagnosed, but I think that might actually be my aunt's deal. Is she might also have ADHD like I do, but a going so long undiagnosed or untreated, uh, is now like many people who do not get diagnosed with ADHD until adulthood, can be prone to depressive cycles. So I think that might actually be her deal, but I'm not in a position to diagnose her, so I just have my own suspicions based on the fact that A, I have it myself, and B, she lived with us a lot when I was growing up, so, um, um, um. Oh, right, I know it's in there. That's nothing to be, and not needed right now, and I forget. Okay. So where was I going with this? Oh, right, I called aunt, and, I also got a text from sister about sister's mother, yeah, sister's mother is feeling rather invincible lately. So sister's mother was born in the 30s, mid 1930s. So my dad was born in the early 40s. Sister's mother was born in the mid 1930s, and sister's mother had a case of smallpox as a child. Um, which I was not aware of until very recently, obviously. But it does kind of explain, like, I thought it was acne scarring. So, um, but apparently it's smallpox scarring. So yeah, and relatively few, ill effects on her long-term health due to that, because she got it as a child. Um, Even though it was believed to have been one of the nastier strains that has something like a 90% mortality rate. But she got it just young enough or something, or like at just the right age where she was in the higher survival rate category. So yeah, she survived a really nasty case of smallpox as a child, before smallpox was eradicated in 1979. So yeah, like just before I was born was like, the World Health Organization declared smallpox to have been eradicated. It's technically not extinct. It's there are still two captive this is why after the whole like September 11th of 2001, like some people were conspiracy theorizing that smallpox would return because there are two captive samples of the virus in under tight control in I can't remember if it's one lab or two different labs for each sample, but yeah, there's two captive samples of smallpox that and speaking of so yeah, I got a lockbox for some of them because sister was thinking of bringing niece over sometime this summer, or at least when things get declared to be safe enough anyway. And so I got a lockbox on some of them, not just because of niece, but because of sister. But that's another story for another time. Like who you really trust to mean well, but at the same time, you can't always trust her mental state to be optimal enough that when things go astray, something won't happen. So, but yeah, like I said, I do find her generally trustworthy, but at the same time, any precaution. So, and I just put my allergy meds in there because why not? There was still room in the box, but that's another story for another time. So yeah, sister's mother is feeling invincible. Sister's mother survived a really nasty strain of smallpox in the 1930s when she was a child. Sister's mother also fell off the wagon a couple times when we were growing up. So sister's mother had primary custody of sister, but that was because it was the 70s, and especially if father was also an alcoholic, or even if in recovery, custody tended to default to mother more often than not, though it did often go to father, depending on the situation, especially if he had money, which is one of the reasons, plus the fact that she wasn't completely aware of how the U.S. legal system worked, but that's like one of the reasons that Ivana, as in Donald's, I believe, first wife, but yeah, Ivanka, that's the daughter. Ivana is the mother of Ivanka, and she decided not to fight for custody. Apparently it was apparently she was led to believe that it would have been an uphill battle, and she just wanted to get out of an abusive relationship with a man who committed spousal rape upon her several times, as is said in her memoir, which is still in print. And, you'd think that if it was at all slanderous, he would have sued, as many times, and if he had sued and it was found to have been false, that it would have been out of print. But no, it's still in print. So there's your rapist in chief. But that's another story for another time. And it's not my story to tell either. But where was I going with this? Oh, right, yeah. So sister's mother who survived childhood smallpox, a really nasty strain of smallpox, you know, for most people would have had a 90% mortality rate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. So she is in like that 10% who survived it. So yeah, and then like sister's mother fell off the wagon a couple times and ended up in longer terms. So like from a few weeks to a few months. Like there was a year. There was one year when sister was in junior high or maybe freshman year of high school that she basically finished out the year because they lived in Lima, Ohio, and we lived in Toledo. But there was a year that she finished up her term. No, it was junior high. So yeah, she finished up like 7th or 8th grade at St. Adalbert with us, the younger siblings, and so yeah, like that's yeah, she finished out like 7th or 8th grade at completely different school. Oh, good morning, but yeah, I'm just wrapping up. It's gonna be in archive. I'm just going on about like how mother is driving us crazy because so yeah, sister is thinking that like maybe her mother is like getting a little bit manic in spite of the meds. Of course, it could also be due to the stress from Michigan being on lockdown. So so yeah, like there was a couple times that that sister's mother and she was like either into back into substance abuse in general, or of course, if she was going back into substance abuse, then she was probably off of her bipolar meds to begin with. So yeah, like either in like the more like formalized rehab or like psychiatric care facilities. Either way, like there was a couple times that sister was with our dad and my mother a bit longer than she usually was, because usually it was like like alternating holidays and like every other weekend because we lived in different cities. But hello, Murnau. Yes, you're a kitty. Yep, you're very, very cute, and you do not get my pills. But so yeah, like I began, sister's mother survived childhood smallpox in the 1930s, and yeah, that should be all of them. Oh wait, nope. Then there's the other one. Where'd that one go? Son of a bitch. I'll find it. So yeah, sister's mother survived childhood smallpox, which and it was an especially nasty 90% mortality rate strain of smallpox. Please move. No. Ah. I mean, at least he didn't knock anything out, so that's good. So yeah, that's another thing. So, like, sister's mother is also feeling invincible because, apparently she revealed recently that a couple times she's been off the wagon, she is apparently surprised she did not become HIV positive. And, of course, this was not an especial concern for an ostensibly heterosexual woman in the 80s, because that was believed to be something that, or at least by the general public, and the gay men, because apparently lesbians are God's people. That was a snappy comeback that Best X had when he was, especially, oh crap, that's right. I got that back. So when he was especially involved with ACT UP, of course, he knew all these people who... Please move. You're on my thing. Please, scooch. Thank you. He knows this, too. He knows what I do. But he knows that it takes my attention away from him. And that's the important part. But, so yeah, like... sister's mother survived smallpox. She survived smallpox, the Great Depression. Apparently she brought up World War II for some reason, even though she was, like, not even a teenager yet when it ended. Let's see. Yeah, so she, like, brought up all the wars that, like, first off, like, she was, like, either a teenager or just, like, a woman and not about to be drafted anytime soon. Like, so, okay, yeah, sure, yes, Norma, you technically, like, lived through the time when there was, World War II, the Korean War, and Vietnam. Okay, yes, this is all, like, none of this is news to us, Norma. Thank you. Whatever. I mean, yeah, there aren't very many old ladies left named Norma. But whatever. But yeah, then what happens? Right, I put these away, and then I have my gummy vitamins and shit for the day. Okay, and, so yeah, she, like, lived through the period where there were, like, all the wars, and she has no idea how she's not HIV positive since, a couple of the people she was sharing needles with, she says, let's see, she called them a couple of Nellies, at least one of whom got the bug, her words according to Sister, and so she's gonna beat this too. And, you know, like, my doctor's got me off oxygen. I only need my CPAP at night when I sleep now. I'm gonna get through this. And so, like, yeah, Sister, like, had to take the battery out of her own mother's wheelchair. Like, even though, like, the nurse, like, she's got a visiting nurse who comes daily. And, like, and Norma, I'm just gonna go with Norma. It's, like, it rolls off the tongue much easier than Sister's mother, since we don't have her surname out. I know it. It's different than mine. She did remarry at least once. And I think she went back to her maiden name after the divorce, but Ruby, is... Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, Sister is, you know, is definitely a McElroy. But yeah, then what happens? So, yeah, she had to take the battery out of her mother's wheelchair. And this was at the nurse's recommendation, too. She's just like, well, if your mother's getting this antsy, like, you know, to get out in, you know, like, in spite of the bipolar med, probably not it's, first off, like, it's never a good idea to, just, like, switch up meds, or, you know, especially, like, mental health medications, without, like, meeting with the doctor, so they're not sure how exactly they're going to, set up a meeting to see if, like, we need to, if they need to rotate her meds on some, but, you know, or, like, adjust the dosage, something like that, but yeah, like, nurse was just like, you know, like, if you feel okay about it, just, like, take the battery out of her wheelchair, because old ladies can be ninjas. And you're especially aware of this if you've ever seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding. But yeah, like, yeah, they're just like, you know, like, just as a, you know, because there could be a moment when her back is turned, and, you know, when, like, nurse has her back turned, that Norma would just, like, and, like, right out the door, and, cause yeah, it's, I guess, but yeah, like, oh god, my aunt is definitely feeling stir crazy, like, more so than I am, and, I'm feeling somewhat better right now, not great, but better, and, but yeah, I gotta, do up the thing, oh, yeah, the pin fell out of my swatch, and of course, I cannot take it into my usual shop to get it fixed, because shop is closed! Shop is closed, and that's, so yeah, shop is closed, So that's a thing that I have to deal with right now. And I am taking far more vitamin supplements than necessary because... Oh, shit! That's what I forgot. I thought something felt light. Son of a bitch. Oh, wait. Oh, crap. Oh, nope, never mind. There was another bottle of something. Okay, there's that one. Oh. Ooh, fancy. Okay. But I'm not even wearing my pajama pants right now, because that is what my week is like. I mean, I have gone out a couple of times for errands, but, you know, just because, like, for my, as I said to my aunt, if only for my own sense of sanity, I've been spacing out my chores a little bit more than is recommended. Seriously? I'll find it. Oh, here's the other one. And yeah, I've got a bit of a mess on the couch as I've been nesting, as my stepmother called it. Okay, I thought things felt a little light on there. Okay. I was like, wait a second. There was something else that I usually do, right? Yeah, of course. The gabapentin. Okay. So yeah, my sister's mom is a ninja, and and if there's only one adult in the house, or one other adult in the house, I suppose, more accurately, she is on, like, no battery in her wheelchair, because apparently she can not be trusted to not go zipping around the neighborhood, and, you know, on the, in the event that Norma might be an asymptomatic carrier, you know, go and infect the neighborhood. You know, far more likely at her age, she's gonna be like 87 next month. My aunt confirmed to me. So yeah. Yeah, far more likely is that would be the last we see of her alive. Last seen zipping around the neighborhood, screaming about how, you know, she survived smallpox, she survived the Great Depression, she, amazingly, as, you know, a teenager and young woman in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, survived World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, because that makes absolutely no sense to bring up as a thing one somehow amazingly survived. She definitely survived marriage to my father, which is a feat in and of itself, but, I'm probably making that sound worse than it was, but, you know, you get two crazy pants people together in a marriage, it's never gonna end well. And honestly, like, that was my dad and his first 3 marriages. And I'm including my mother. My mother was a retired Zappa groupie. Like, the woman was crazy pants. The woman was crazy pants. Like, her pants had their own certification of being just bonk. So yeah, like, she survived at least 2 marriages, including one of which was to my father, and she's gonna outlive all of us, and, so yeah, like, that would be, like, most likely scenario, but, yeah, so yeah. Sister had to take her, oh crap, these ones too, son of a bitch. You know what, I'll just do them for the rest of the week, later tonight. So yeah, I'm maybe half as stir crazy as usual, this last week. If only just because I'm kind of getting used to it. I'm still not happy. Still feel safest from, you know, my own mental health issues by, you know, doing shit that most people would be advised against, like spacing out my... I did this one. Oh, that's the other one. Never mind. Okay. Like, spacing out my chores to, you know, where I'm doing, like, one thing a day. Like, even if I'm only, like, getting, getting only what I need as I need it, right? And getting only as much as I need it. Because, A, I can't exactly afford to get, you know, 2 weeks worth of something at a time. I don't drive. I have the bus, right? So, like, even if I could afford it, there's only so much I can bring on with me at a... Speaking of which, they're not discontinuing, the cat litter I use in the bathroom litter box, but they are no longer carrying it at the Ann Arbor Petco. So their last bags went on clearance, and I'm still not brushing my hair. That's not a... But, so yeah, like, I was one of those assholes who, you know, decided to, hoard, but it was all on clearance. We're talking, like, the 8-pound bag is, normally, about $20. It was $6. I got 3 of those, and the last 11.5-pound bag, normally about $5, that was $8. So, and like I said, they're carrying it online, so I can, online, either as I need it or sign up for their repeat delivery, something like every 6 weeks. An 11-pound bag lasts us of this one, so I'm not gonna be happy with that, but it's an option, and ended up with more Listerine and witch hazel than I'd normally have. Not sure what I was thinking. Oh gosh. That's... Oh yeah, on the cat litter. Yeah, that was really good. And like I said, well, the guy at the store even said, cause I'm one of the regulars, so I've got a good, chat kind of rapport with a bunch of the people at that Petco. He was saying that I was literally one of only 2 people he saw regularly buying that kind, and so yeah, they're still gonna be carrying it at the store in Canton, which I cannot get to because the bus doesn't go there, and I do not drive. And then what happens? So yeah, I stocked up like a jackass, but, oh my gosh. But I feel like less of a jackass knowing that I'm one of very few people in the area who buys this one regularly. I guess most people just decided it was weird or something. I don't know. But like I said, the cats really love it in the bathroom box. Like, to the point where, since I've been using it in the bathroom box, they don't pee in the kitchen box anymore. Like, they don't. They literally don't. In fact, I'm switching the kitchen box to crystals, and I'm thinking, I will gradually introduce type litter by first I got the scoopable variety, the scoopable variation of the crystal litter. So the Petco So Fresh, micro crystal scoopable stuff. So went with so I slowly mixed in the scoopable crystals to the scoopable paper pulp that I'd been using. The world's best was like the last of the world's best was in the kitchen box. So yeah, I went to microcrystals, just to see how that works out. Um, um, because friends had been suggesting that it's really great on odor control, like it's the best on odor control, and since that's they prefer to poop in the kitchen box. Like if you have, especially if you have more than one cat, and you have ideally a minimum of two boxes. Like ideally, they say the number of cats you have plus one is the number of litter boxes you should have. But I'm like, okay, so that would mean I need four litter boxes, and I don't have the space for that. I didn't have the space for that at the little house at the old Sears Kit house in Lansing that Best X and I were at. So I'm just like, and of course, honestly, this apartment is barely smaller than that house. Of course, they also don't usually count the basement in the square footage of a house. So I guess that um makes some sense. Actually, no, we did have four litter boxes in that house. Okay. Yeah, because there was the one up in my room, which was the attic, so and like the entire length of the attic. So it was like right up at the top of the stairs, and then you get past the box and about like 8 feet, and then it was like basically my room. But yeah, so I've been slowly integrating the crystal type litter. So I'm thinking just because it is so much less per pound, just like going with the regular crystals after we get down to the last of the micro crystal variety. So just like slowly integrate but yeah, they don't. But yeah, like if you have more than one cat, especially if you have more than one cat, and you ideally have a minimum of two litter boxes, they will designate one box for urine and another box for feces. Like they will pee in one box and poop in the other. They seldom mix the two. Um, Usually only mix the two if they decide that, if one of them decides that, oh, there's too much, going on. There's too much pee in this one. I'm going to pee in the poop box, and then they'll poop in the pee box. I don't know. Scott's cat Bob did that. Um, of course, he would obstinately do that, like after we'd scoop the boxes. Best X's old cat Bob. It was a cat that people still tell stories about at parties. But yeah, like after we'd scoop out the box, like he would go and poop in the pee box and then pee in the poop box. And then he'd go back to how they normally do it. He just wanted to make a point known to the other cats, I guess. He just wanted to be contrary, just like, that one time in each box. But yeah, like I said, I've switched to the other litter in the bathroom box. They don't pee in the kitchen box anymore. Unfortunately, one of them, every time they get something with salmon, and I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is, but every time one of them gets something with salmon, salmon and beef. I think I figured out beef is their trigger for this too, but they have the most noxious poo. Like I'll be like mixing dough for cookies. I'll be mixing like I'll be mixing my cookie dough in the kitchen, and someone will come into the box and lay down the most noxious poo you've ever detected, because I'm a dumbass who has to like give them something with salmon like the night before I decide to mix cookies, right? Or something like that. Because that's just how it works out, right? So, yeah, I'm Yeah, that's. Oh, another thing is. Okay, so a few weeks ago, like first week that Michigan goes on lockdown, my bike got stolen. Okay, but and I am still out for blood. That is, I've not released the bounty on the bike thief, but not only do I qualify for that stimulus, I also filed my taxes on the H&R Free site that they do for people. Um, and this was the one that was recommended by Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. So yeah, I did my taxes on there, and I got to the part where they want to do the state tax info, and I'm like, okay, sure, like it's not going to hurt anything to just like continue forward since even though like I only get like non-taxable federal income via Social Security disability. Okay, technically I've also got the Art Fire Shop. Packages will be going out on Wednesday. I've started meandering out a schedule for myself. So, oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, everybody has been, well, except for a bunch of, peanut gallery types on a local Facebook, Ypsilanti Facebook group, but, that's just what people are doing lately, right? Right? Yeah. He was yawning. Sometimes I like to mess with him and, like, stick my finger in their mouth when they yawn because it's funny. I don't know why. But yeah. Yeah, I got okay. I gotta finish my pills, but yeah, I also get so there's that 1,200 federal that I'll be getting, and then another 1,500 state. So that's $2,700, and I just did some maths, and so that should all be coming sometime within the next like 2 to 4 weeks. It said so. I did some maths, and so yeah, like let's see. First, I'm gonna pay off the dental school. Oh, hi, Siska. I was just about to wrap up, but it's gonna be archived in however long after I finish. I was just mentioning how my sister's mother is driving everybody crazy because she's like 86 or something, right? She's like 86 and she's bipolar and she's getting a little bit manic in spite of the meds, probably just from going stir crazy. She survived a whole lot of, pandemic sort of situations in the past, and she's feeling invincible and driving everybody nuts. But yeah, so like there's that 2,700, so like the 1,200 federal stimulus, then the 1,500 Michigan State. It's some kind of heating and housing credit. I didn't know that I qualified for that, so I think I'm going to be filing my taxes every year, even though I technically don't have to. And I told my aunt about that too, and yeah, she's going to start doing this every year because she was, thinking about doing it for the stimulus check that, from Social Security, just for that. But I was told her about this, and I'm like, yeah, just like do it as soon as you can, or at the very least, like get somebody to do it for you. So I figured, okay, so I still got $80 I got to pay to the dental school because I'd put it off the last couple of months because it was a matter of, like having that extra, $26 to $50, that they wanted, minimum to maximum or not. And I was just like, okay. So yeah, like after the stimulus gets through, so let's see, that's 2,700. So then I still owe 80 the dental school over that filling from back in the previous January. January 2019. No, that was done in March of 2019. I called for the appointment in January of 2019. Okay. And then I found a beautiful vintage folding bicycle on eBay through a seller willing to ship freight. So yeah, like gonna be under 300 for that. So here we've got like just under $400, and Then I was going to stock up on rechargeable batteries, including C cells for the clock in my kitchen, 9 volts for the smoke detector, because I'm supposed to replace the batteries on that. Apparently, that's in my lease. Okay, fine, whatever. If it's going to be my batteries, I'm going to pick the batteries, right? Um, and then I was going to get those beautiful wicker bicycle baskets that goes with the front basket, but it's going to be the ones that fit onto the rear rack. So I was going to get 2 of those, so that's another 150. And then I was thinking of getting one of those hurdy-gurdy puzzle kit things. So that's another 80. And I was going to get a new fountain for the cats for their water. There's a pet emporium out on Stadium in Washtenaw. They actually have a much better price. It's like almost half the price from the same basic thing at Petco. Is at Pet Emporium, and like I said, it's the same thing. It's the same design. It's a different brand. It's a national boutique brand, but rather than Petco's little house brand. And like I said, it's like almost half the price. Hi, yes. And I was finally going to sign up for DistroKid to distribute my music via Spotify and Amazon and all of that. And that way I can also like upload covers that I've been recording of things. And yeah, that still leaves me, that alone, all of that I just listed off, that only comes to, that's still under $700. I'd still have like $2,000 left to like just make basic like household lifestyle improvement little choices. So I'm thinking I might finally get a chest freezer for the kitchen. If I can find a local antique seller, get myself an ice box for the balcony so I can, like have my cold drinks out on the balcony. Maybe get myself a bistro set for furniture for the balcony. Hi, yes, Murnau, I see you. Do you see him? Okay, no, I don't think it's I don't think it's quite showing, but okay. He headbutts into my knee and then he like rubs his little forehead like annoying. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up because I've got oh yeah, and of course like anything left over is like I don't know. I'm hoping I can keep 1,000 in savings. That would be nice for once in my life as a real adult. Hi! I could definitely use some new I just did the maths for a whole bunch of stuff that I need to make some, household improvements on and whatever. But yeah, like all the immediate need stuff that I just listed off, and like we can argue whether or not like, DistroKid or a cat fountain is immediate need, but it's like still like stuff that I've been putting off for a while, plus a new bike. It's like like still that's like under $700 already right there. So yeah. All right. So I'm going to finish my liquid breakfast of juice, milk, coffee, and apparently copious amounts of looking at my cat's anus. Bats and kisses, all of that. And oh, yay! My friend Susie Bika, she's a Canadian comic artist. She also does other art too. She's had some gallery showings in the Toronto area. She has done comic brochures for Green Party Canada. She is another Patreon supporter. So I now have 3 Patreon supporters. 3! Yeah, so much thanks to my Patreon supporters, Susie Bika, Ali Valkyrie, polytheist writer and activist and American expat living in Rennes, France. She's been doing live streams via Facebook almost daily since the French lockdown, though she's decided that since today is a French bank and public holiday, that she's not going to be working, and by that she means live streaming either. So but she'll probably start up with that again tomorrow. And another Patreon supporter I remember only by Allison. I believe I know her from the Hellenic Polytheist community. And of course, Murnau's rump that he has to show me daily, just in case I forgot what it looks like. Bats and kisses, all of that. Check out my music on Bandcamp, blah, blah, blah. All right, take care. Bye-bye.